rule, starting with our rule number 1, of course. So when we talk of the profile again, this is exactly the shape outside. We are just going to draw it as we start. Now let me start. Here will be our line. It goes up and so on. There is another line. Let me extend it here. It goes up here and now it joins. So that is the shape so far, and this shape it is because of rule number 1. Copy the outside of the drawing as given. Then you are done with rule number 1. Then you go to rule number 2. Rule number 2, it says inside changes. Like I said, there are only 2 things which are going to change. The hard lines, the rule says it must just simply disappear. Remember, before the exception, if you are cutting through a support, that support it is like it is protecting that hard line. As a result, that hard line is going to remain as a hard line. Then again, the rule says hidden line will change and will become hard line. Remember again, before the exception, if you are not cutting through a hidden line, that hidden line it must just simply disappear. That is 2 things which are going to change. Now let's go back and interpret or use our rules. Now here is our cutting line. Let's start from this side as we are cutting. Remember with this red line here, it represents our cutting. It can be the cutting is either we are using a hacksaw or we are using a knife or anything to cut the drawing. So it is going to be represented by this line. Now here we are cutting. Here as you can see, I am cutting. Now this red line, it is running through this cycle. That simply means I am interfering with a cycle, and that simply means I am cutting through that cycle. Because I am cutting through that cycle, it means now this it will change and it will become a hard line. This is a hard line. This is now a hard line. It is a hard line for this as we are interfering with a hole. Now we are continuing cutting. We are here cutting this area. This is exactly the area. So let's just for now focus here. This is exactly the hole, and I am cutting through this hole. Because I am interfering with this hole, the rule says it must change and it must become a hard line. Now it has changed and it has become a hard line. Now here we are cutting through. As you can see, we've got the hole and we've got the hole. Just take a closer look here. Trace this line. As you are tracing this line, you must ask yourself for now, are we cutting through any of this hole? Are we interfering with any of this hole? The answer here is simple, people. We are not interfering with any of this hole. As a result, this hidden line here, because the rule somewhere it indicated that if we are not cutting through that hidden line, it must disappear. Now they must disappear because we are not interfering with any of this hole. So you can see no hidden line as we speak now. It is simply because of that rule. Now again, the hard lines as I indicated, we've got the hard line, and the hard line. This in particular it is for this cycle, and we are cutting through that. Now because we are cutting through that, now the rule says now it must change, and in fact it must just simply disappear. So this line, of course, as you can see already, it has disappeared because of the rule. Now this line and this line, what will happen? We must always check our drawing. This line, these double lines, as I said, they represent the support, and we are cutting through that support. Now once you cut through a support like this, the rule says now these 2 lines, they must remain as hard line. That is the exception which I talked about when I was trying to explain the rule number 2, which says hard line will disappear, except when you are cutting through a support, it must remain as a hard line. We are cutting through a support, it must remain as a hard line. There you can see it is a hard line and so on. So now that will be now the end of rule number 2.